I was thinking, like, what is the most important fact about being a lawyer that they don't teach you in law school? And there's certainly a lot of things they don't teach you in law school, but, if I could distill down the one most important thing that they don't teach you in law school is basically what separates lawyers who become owners or, partner. I don't want to say partners because partner doesn't even necessarily mean you own anything anymore, but what separates lawyers who own a law practice from employee lawyers or lawyers who work for someone else? Like, nobody, at least not in my law school, talked about that. Yet it's such an important factor about how you're going to live as a lawyer and how your practice is going to be. And I think it comes down to a couple different factors that I want to talk about and just go through real quick. Number one is, can you get cases? And in other areas of industry, people call this getting business. Now, it's not getting business as a lawyer because they're clients, they're human beings. So are you getting clients, but are you bringing in new cases? Are you bringing in new matters to your firm or to your own practice? If you cannot do that, the unfortunate reality is you cannot make money on your own, and therefore you need to work for somebody else. It's just basic capitalism. Number two is, are you good at being a lawyer? I know that sounds stupid and overly simplistic, but if you were on an island and you were not working for another firm, you were working for yourself. If you were on an island working for yourself, could you hold your own? Whether you're a trial lawyer in the courtroom or a mergers and acquisition lawyer or a tax lawyer, are you good at your job? Are you really good at your job such that you will garner respect independently from your opponents or independently from whatever boards or agencies or court systems that you appear before? Because if you can't get that independent respect, you're not going to be able to succeed as a lawyer. And the third factor, which I think is more obtuse, but probably the most important, is, are you afraid? And obviously, everybody has fear. All humans have fear. All lawyers have fear. They're no different. But are you afraid of failing? Are you afraid of being the one in charge, the one that it all falls onto? I think a lot of lawyers, even some of the smartest lawyers, some of the best, lawyers at their craft, are afraid to be out on their own and to do a business. And I can't tell you, I know so many great lawyers, but they can't get cases. They can't generate their own clients. And they're always going to be working for another lawyer. And there's been this evolution over time in the law industry where there's this discussion about equity versus non-equity partners. And equity simply means ownership. Do you have an interest in the ownership of the firm? And non-equity being you do not have that interest. More and more and more these days, there are non-equity partners. There are a couple or several top owners of a firm. They are the equity owners, but people are named partner all the time in the legal field, and they are given no ownership and no equity. And I talk to people who aren't lawyers about this in other business fields, and they're like, what are you talking about? It's almost foreign to them. But I think that lawyers kind of are traditionally risk averse, traditionally not the greatest business folks, and also have this sort of, I don't want to call it juvenile, but old school idea that, if I put in my time, that's how I'm going to get to the next level. If I just work really, 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 really hard, and I'm not decrying hard work. I think hard work is the top of the pile in terms of importance and being a lawyer. But I think people suffer from this idea that if I just work really hard, then I'm going to, someday be an owner. That's just not how it works.